Krishnadasaभिमानिये आनंद सिंधु
Krishnadasaभिमानये Ananda Sindhu
कोटि ब्रह्म सुख नहे तारे कबिंदु
Koti Brahma Sukha Nahi Tara Ek Bindu.
The conception of servitude to Sri Krishna generates such an ocean of joy in the soul that even the joy of oneness with the Absolute, if multiplied 10 million times, could not compare to a drop of it. There is no poet. Krishna Das Abhimani, under this impression of being a servant of Krishna, yea, that Ananda Sindhu, ocean of transcendental bliss, Koti Brahma Sukha, 10 million times the transcendental bliss of becoming one with the Absolute. Nahe, not Tara of the ocean of transcendental bliss, Eka, one, Bindu, drop. The conception of servitude to Sri Krishna generates such an ocean of joy in the soul that even the joy of oneness with the Absolute, if multiplied 10 million times, could not compare to a drop of it. Srila Vitrasur Maharaj, 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, is praying in his most celebrated prayers. He says, Aham Harita Adayika Moolam Dasa Mataso Bhavitasmi Bhuya Manas Maritas Supatir Gunamste Ganita Vakam Karam Karotu Kaya Nanaka Prishtam Nachaparameshtam Na Sarvabhauma Na रसादिभक्तिं न योगसिद्धिं पुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहस्य काङ्क्षे. अजातपक्षा इव मातरं खगा स्थान्यं यथा वत्सर. Then he says, Priyam Priyeva Vishita Ashanna.
It's not audible. Can you say that loudly?
Our acharyas are demonstrating that the greatest gift to obtain, is the rarest and the most cherished of all desires and gifts to obtain, is to be able to get the service to the Supreme Lord, is to be able to get an opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord. Srila Vitrasur Maharaj is expressing the deepest course of his heart. His most cherished desires, and how he can come to the state of fully and wholly serving Krishna. He says, that the topmost and the loftiest of my desires, cherished desires, which I have been hankering and desperately longing for, is to become the servant of the servant of the servant. And in that state, through one's words, through one's mind, through one's body, offer service to you, O Lord. Srila Vitrasur Maharaj is explaining that in this way, when we get this opportunity of service to the Supreme Lord, so being able to get the opportunity to serve the Supreme Lord means to be able to get residence, shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord.
No.
The shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an abstract concept. The reality of it manifests in the form of service to the Lord. And that is why a devotee always wants to go on serving. The devotee always wants to go on serving. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim na kavitam va jagadish kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhavatad bhakti rahituki tvai. As the devotee goes on serving, all superfluous material desires keep getting washed off. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam va. There is only one desire, to obtain Krishna. What is the meaning of obtaining Krishna? What do we get obtaining Krishna? What do we mean by obtaining Krishna? Obtaining Krishna, we mean obtaining the eternal service to Krishna. And that is what is being elaborated further. Mama janmani janmaneshware bhavatad bhaktir ahetuki tvai. Life after life after life, let me obtain the divine service of your lotus feet. So the material desires in our heart are very hard, not rooted, very deep rooted. They don't go away so easily. They time and again keep surfacing up like the heads of Ravana. Or they are like a mouth of a python ready to swallow and devour us every now and then. See, and every material desire is like that. It's like hungry python just coming to gobble us up, eat us up. Very dangerous. So the entire premise of these material desires is very dangerous. And these desires don't go away so easily because they are very tightly stuck up to the living entity. So material desires, the more one meditates on that and acts on that, the problem is because of that continued practice or bad habit of meditating and acting and feeding these desires become so deep rooted or so tightly glued that it don't get washed off so easily because it is badly stuck up. And therefore, a heavy duty process of cleansing is required. That is why the Acharyas in the scriptures explain that the goal of one's life should be purification of heart.
Kamasya Indriya Pratilava.
Yes?
Kamasya Indriya Pratilava.
No, that is so simple living. The goal of one's life should be purification of one's heart. That is the goal of one's life. Where it is explained, Nayam deho deha bhajam niloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujanai tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhyet yasmat brahma sokyam tu anantam. Shuddhyet yasmat brahma sokyam tu anantam. So the goal of life is to embark upon the trajectories of transcendental tapasya. Because only on these transcendental tapasya, on the lanes of austerity and sacrifice, transcendental, divine austerities and sacrifice, lies the purification of heart. And Ananda flows in our hearts in proportion to the degree our heart is purified. So therefore, human life should not be wasted in sense gratificatory pleasures, which are like the pleasures of a hog eating stool. Very nasty, very dirty, very abominable. So Shubhyet Yasmat Brahma Sokyam tu Anantam. So the purification of heart, and that is why A devotee should always be alert and attentive to always hold on to some or the other service all the time. Because unless there is service to Krishna, the purification of heart does not take place. The purification of the heart is only brought about when there is service to Krishna. Therefore, as a sadhaka, one should always be hankering for service. And therefore, we see the process of bhakti as it is presented by the acharyas is very simple. Because unless there is service to Krishna, the heart is not purified, and the heart is not purified, one will not develop the taste for chanting the holy name and the holy glories of the Lord. And if there is no taste, the meditation and absorption on the holy name and the holy glories of the Lord will not come about. So therefore the disposition of service is very important. And therefore the acharyas have presented to us a whole range of services, beginning from the simple, very, very simple services which even a child can perform, to complex, more absorbed services. But if you see, primarily the fundamentals of devotional service revolve around very simple practices which anyone can do. There is a great reason behind this. Like say for example, simple services which anyone can do. The reason is because you see the simple service is very easy to pick up, and something which is very easy to pick up will be held for a longer time. That is the whole point. And unless there is this disposition of service, the purification does not take place. That's the idea. So therefore, many times what happens is that a sadhaka always has to be calculative that am I engaged in some service or not. Many times, sometimes what happens is devotees, they look forward or they look forward to some service which may be tough or difficult or very complex or require a lot of hard work. So then what happens is that the ambition to do a lofty service to Krishna may be a good one. The only problem is that it may require a lot of burnout, a lot of hard work, and the sadhaka may not feel that much long-going inspiration and may falter in between. Like say for example, if one wants to preach to the President of America, it's a very good idea to do that, but it is a lofty one. One has to do, it requires a lot of endeavors. Uh, uh, or suppose if one wants to make up, say, a 500 crore temple in a particular city, it's a wonderful idea. It will be the beacon light of the entire city. The whole life of the city will revolve around the temple in that case. But it's a lofty idea, it's complex, it requires a lot of hard work. Now the challenging services, many times what happens is that the burnout, the effect and the experience of the burnout itself or the fatigue itself is too much that one may not continue for a long time because the juice is not coming. So therefore, while one is welcome to take challenging services for Krishna, no doubt, but the point is one should fill up one's life with a lot of simple services every day. Simple, easy to do service. Like say for example, cooking for Krishna, not a complex service. Very simple service. Cooking for Krishna. You just boil something, add some salt in it, some spices in it, offer to the Lord. Simple service. Cleaning the temple of the Lord. Simple service. addressing the deity is a very simple service. Going out for Harinam is a very simple service. Going out for book distribution is a simple service. So we may have the goal to preach to the President of the United States, no problem. But along with that, there should be, every day there should be deity service and Harinam and book distribution, cooking. It's a very simple service. Even a child can do that. It doesn't require anything much complex. So many times, so one should not get deluded that, oh, I don't have anything very lofty, anything very hi-fi. The problem is the hi-fi may lead to a lot of burnout also, and one may not be able to continue. So our foundation in life should be simple services. And based on this foundation, we can make lofty towers of highly challenging and complex services. That is possible. But if there is no foundation, these lofty towers may never get raised. That is the whole point. So in simple services also there is purification of the heart, and with that purification of heart, one gets more and more taste for chanting the holy names of the Lord, and one gets more and more taste for reading the Shastras, and so so that taste can give one so that taste itself can give one the gear up. Just like you see, the gear is very important for steer. The steer will not take place unless you gear. So gear up, steer, the steer. So one can steer faster only when the gear is up. In first gear, one cannot ride at 80 kilometers per hour. The gear doesn't allow. Similarly, when the taste or connection to the holy name is at the first gear stage, one cannot go very fast in devotional service. The taste for the chanting and the hearing of the glories of the Lord and the holy name of the Lord has to increase. Only then the gear increases, and only when the gear increases can the speed go up. So speed in Krishna consciousness is not artificial, like that. I mean, it cannot be done artificially. Okay, today onwards I will become a deadly fast devotee of the Lord. It's not possible. It's not possible. Today onwards, I'll see how I rock. I'll move at supersonic speed. It's not possible. It requires a gearbox. I mean, it requires a gear up. And the gear up doesn't happen unless you develop that taste for the holy name and the holy glories of the Lord. And that taste can only happen when there is purification of heart, which happens by the simple services. So these simple services are a foundation. Many times people think, oh, I'm very qualified, I'm IIT, I'm MIT, and I'm being asked to clean the temple of the Lord, I'm being asked to do very menial services. Oh, unless there are menial services, the problem is there is no purification for the heart. And unless that happens, IIT, MIT is not going to get offered to the Almighty. That is the problem. So to be able to enable oneself to offer whatever skill sets one has or valuation one has in the material world, it is important to pick up, to make oneself very groundly rooted on the simple services, because the simple services are very simple. One can immediately start doing it. Cleaning the temple of the Lord, immediately one can pick up a broom and start doing it. It doesn't require any qualification. Like that. So, immediately one can pick up and start doing it. So immediately purification comes. With the purification, one's attraction to Krishna grows. And thus the taste will come. And when the taste comes, the gear goes up. When the gear goes up, then the speed up takes place. So therefore, as a sadhaka, one should be very, very enthusiastic towards simple and menial services, which are available for everyone. One should not think that, oh, anybody can do it. Hurry now, anybody can go. book distribution, anybody can go. Anybody can go. No? You just have to take the book and just show the book and that's it. And somebody will take it. No, so if anybody can do it, these services, that means these services are very, very fundamental. Because one may say, no, I am a very, no, I have a very sophisticated niche expertise and I can do that service. Yes, but to be able to continue doing that niche expertise service, we need the foundation of these simple services, so that our life is filled up with service and our focus is steadfast on the point that that all my endeavors are meant for purification of heart. And this is how the service to Krishna leads to 10 million times pleasure than that of liberation, because the service to Krishna purifies the heart. The purifies the heart, the holy name and the holy glories of the Lord are installed. That is the point. And to the degree the holy name and the holy glories of the Lord are installed in our heart, which means that we are absorbed in those glories, to that degree we have obtained the Sanidhyata of the Supreme Lord. That means to that degree we have interfaced the ocean of happiness. Let us stop here for today. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yeah, Sevamuke Yivalo Swayameva Suratiyadaha. Yes, Atah Shri Krishna Namadi. Namari Grahya. So the senses need to be soaked in the service of the Lord. Sevamuke Yivalo. So that happens by chanting the holy names of the Lord, the holy glories of the Lord. Yes, very good. Hare Krishna.
Previously you used to mention one service pushes us to do next service.
Yes.
When we have simple services, then automatically it gives the fear to do the lofty services.
Yes. The simple services are the foundation for lofty services. So one may say, no, I am only inspired to preach to IAS officers, Nobel laureates, presidents of countries or whatever. No? Yes, I mean that may be inspiration, one can pursue that. But to be able to get success in that, a lot of purification of heart is needed. A lot of taste for spiritual substance is needed. The more difficult the service, the more spiritual strength is needed. And spiritual strength comes with constancy of service. Lofty service may not be so much constant, so simple services one has to pick up along with that. That's why devotional service is a simple process. That is the foundation.
And simple services makes us simple, because even if the temple, the 1,000 devotees, we become the instrument, but we are still insignificant.
Yeah.
So simple service gives us that realization,
Yes.
that who am I?
The simple services keep our coordinates fixed up in our true position. Otherwise, our coordinate gets dislocated, and we think I'm a very great devotee, so we become puffed up. No, the puffed up fellows. So we should not become puffed up fellows. So simple services keep us, stable in a position of humility and dependence. Yes.
Then Bhakti Prem Swami Maharaj is mentioning, so it's like puffed up rice, so you will get, you will blow up.
Yeah, so the rice is puffed up, one wave of wind comes and the puffed up rice will blow off. So we get puffed up, will be blown off by the winds of Maya.
That's why we should do services that are little frying.
Yeah.
When this happening. So insignificant menial services crushes our false ego and we really become humble.
Yes, that's very true. Okay, Grantha Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Hari Bol. That is why you see Bhakti Maharaj was also speaking.